The event sector is one that has never really wasted a good crisis. When we look at the end of the Second World War, the event sector transformed and we started seeing conferences that are in their current configuration, and that's where we started seeing multi-country, multilingual conferences with interpretation, and now we are in the new dispensation of an event sector that was essentially deeply impacted by the 2008-2009 crisis, whereby we started seeing companies becoming more deliberate, becoming more organized, becoming less wasteful when it comes to events. So we expect, I personally believe that this crisis is going to be extremely positive in some respects to the events industry. The first thing we are going to see is that we are going to see more investment coming into specific aspects of the event industry, particularly things like technology, skills, new skills, and also just the general policy landscape around data and so forth. So I believe that there are significant implications for the event sector. To be honest with you, they are all positive. There are significant trends that we can already see coming out when it comes to the event sector. Obviously, the event sector is quite wide. We have meetings, incentives, conferences, concerts, and exhibitions. All these will probably have some nuances to them, but overall, in terms of implications and trends, we are starting to see that even though there was a quick shift towards virtualizing the event space, the global economy is trying to bring us back to a time when we can still meet physically. So we're going to see more virtual events, and we're going to see a situation whereby solution providers, software development providers are going to start building the tools that the sector needs to be able to allow this. So far, the software and the technological tools that exist don't fully give us an optimized solution for hybrid events. We are not there yet, so we're going to see a lot of work, a lot of consultation between technology developers and the events industry as a whole. We are also going to see other trends such as the virtualization of human presence. We are going to see the use of avatars, virtual reality, and in Africa specifically, we are going to see governments being much more open to adopting these technologies in a faster way than before, so as to fast track the return to a situation where their economies are attracting some percentage of physical events, given that they have significantly invested in physical event infrastructure that should not go to waste. For companies and organizations, the stakeholder engagement component of their communication strategy is probably the most important. So companies have to critically look at the ecosystem and start identifying the technologies and also the partners, the event production partners, the agencies that are best suited for their needs. That's the first thing that the corporate sector has to start thinking about, not just companies, but also organizations and governments. They have to start identifying the technological partners who have the capacity to navigate the complexity of hybrid meetings. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we must diversify the voices of the company, the voices of the organizations. Right now, with the virtualization of events and meetings, number one, there are many more platforms to engage stakeholders on. That means that one CEO or one spokesperson is simply not going to be able to hack them all. The best thing is to make sure that there is a suite, there is a set of stakeholders, of spokespersons internally who can actually represent the voice and the brand in all these ecosystems and communities. Thirdly, it would actually be very critical for companies to start embracing the importance of thought leadership across all these various communities. It's not going to be enough to just communicate through one major classic channel, such as what we have known as traditional media, TV, and even social media, because to some extent it's now a classic type of media channel. But we have to start digging deeper and identifying the various communities that have formed on these various platforms and be able to engage with them from a thought leadership perspective, from an engagement perspective. And obviously, when you look at all this, you realize that events have to be thought through very carefully, because an event is no longer going to be just this one isolated thing that happens on a couple of days or during a couple of hours. It has to really be a conversation that is carried through a specific amount of time, or even that is continuous. So conversations are no longer going to be isolated, but they're actually going to be entrenched in the very existence of the company or organization. It's absolutely critical for the players in our sector to adapt to the new normal. In fact, it's not even a new normal, it's a normal now. And what we've done at the Newmark Group ever since the pandemic hit is we were able to pivot almost instantaneously onto the hybrid event management ecosystem. And what we've done is we've invested in infrastructure, we've invested in software, we've invested in the teams and in the training that we need to be able to provide a very versatile set of solutions to our clients when it comes to event management. And last year, we are very proud to have organized a number of congresses and conferences, international congresses right here in East Africa. And we were able to host thousands of attendees to these events. And to some extent, I would say that this particular pandemic has been a blessing in disguise, in the sense that events that would have attracted a few hundreds of people have been able to attract thousands of people. And that, in my view, requires the type of focus and investment and reactivity of ourselves here at the Newmark Group and the team that we have.